Hello students, the next part that we are going to study, that is gestation. Okay. Now till now whatever things we have done, after that or after studying placenta, now let's see what is meant by gestation. Gestation or the gestational period, it is nothing but the pregnancy period. Okay. So the gestational period, it varies from organism to organism. In some organism it may be a few days, it may be a few months. In case of humans, the gestation period, it is roughly of 9 months. So overall we say that about 270 plus or minus 70. Okay. So gestation, it is also known as pregnancy period. Okay. Pregnancy period. The technical term we use for this is known as gestation. It is roughly 260 days. Okay, 260 days plus or minus 7 in that. So roughly 38 to 40 weeks. Now from which day we have to calculate these days? Suppose woman has conceived, means implantation has occurred, and now we want to remove the expected date of delivery. That is known as EDD. So EDD means what? Expected date of delivery. Expected date of delivery, it is removed from last normal menstrual period. Okay, you have to remember LMNP. Instead of LMNP, you have to remember LNMP, means last normal menstrual period. The day on which last menstrual cycle has started, that will be considered as day 1. We will not count from day of ovulation or day of fertilization, because we don't know on which day, whether it is 14th day, whether it is 15th day, okay, on which day fertilization has occurred. So we will count the first day of last menstrual cycle, and from that nearly 266 days ahead or about 40 weeks after the first day of last menstrual cycle. So that is known as LMNP, and from that we will get expected date of delivery. Okay, it is known as EDD. So EDD means expected date of delivery. So for that date we will calculate from LMNP. Okay. Now after this, now we discuss that there is a 9 month. Okay, the baby or the fetus is growing in the mother's womb. During this 9 month, the fertilized zygote converts into embryo. As I told you, for 2 months we call that fertilized zygote or fertilized secondary oocyte as fetus. After that, we call that structure as we call it as a embryo after up to 2 months, and afterwards we call it as a fetus. Now during this 9 months of pregnancy, 9 months of gestation, different organs are produced. So roughly I have mentioned here which major organs or in what way baby is developing in the mother's womb for this 9 months. Baby is attached to the mother's body by means of placenta. From placenta forms the umbilical cord. Umbilical cord is about 40 centimeter in long. Now the baby or the fetus, it is entirely covered by amniotic layer. This amniotic layer encloses amniotic cavity, which is filled with a fluid. Okay, that is known as amniotic fluid. Fine. Now let's see what type of major changes occur in fertilized zygote. Now here, as you know that after ovulation, within next 24 hours, fertilization takes place. Nearly by the end of 3rd day, morula it is formed. For next 3 days, it floats in the uterine wall, and then it starts preparing itself for implantation. So on the 7th to 9th day, okay, roughly from 7 to 9 day, it starts implanting, and by the end of 10th day, it is completely implanted into the uterus. Now after 2.5 weeks, means nearly 2 weeks, notochord and neural plate it is formed. Blood cells are formed in yolk sac. We have seen that unless and until liver it is not formed, blood cells are produced in yolk sac. as well as heart tissue differentiate. See, heart, it is the first organ of fetus which is formed in the first month, okay, or in the first month only embryo's heart it is developed. So we can predict, or we can hear the sound of heart just by keeping the stethoscope on the mother's womb. Okay. So presence of fetus in the mother's womb, it can be detected by hearing the sound of heartbeat after 1 month of pregnancy, because heart it is developed after 1 month. So afterwards, about 3 to 4 weeks, around 3.5 weeks, primordial eye or the initial structure, basic eye and ear visible. Pharyngeal pouches are formed. Okay, liver differentiates, respiratory system, thyroid glands begin to develop, blood vessels are also laid down. So slowly all systems they start developing. At the end of 4 weeks, means at the end of 1 month, limb birds appear, 3 primary vesicles of brain are formed, and by the end of 1 month, heart it is completely developed. Fine. 2 months, muscles differentiate, embryo is capable of moving, gonads differentiable into testes and ovaries, bones begin to ossify, embryo become fetus. Okay, as we discussed before, by the end of 2 months we call now that structure, or after that we call that embryo by fetus. Now nervous system develop and bones start enlarging. Now 3 months. Okay, 3 months, sex can be determined by external infection, because already gonads started developing in the previous months. So sex can be determined by external inspection. Notochord degenerate, lymph glands also develop. 4th month, face begins to look like human. Eye, ear, nose, they look bit normal. And now the rapid growth of fetus starts. In the 5th month of pregnancy, the first proper movement of fetus can feel. The mother can feel the movement. Now how that fetus it is moving, as I told you, fetus it is surrounded by a fluid. So naturally baby it is a swimmer. Okay, so it swims in the, or it floats. It can move in the amniotic fluid which is present surrounding to it. The first movement of fetus, as well as appearance of hairs on head. So small hairs they start appearing on head. Okay. Now these things happen by the end of 2nd trimester. 3rd trimester, body it is covered with fine hairs. These hairs are known as lanugo. After birth of baby, these hairs are mostly removed, or they just get degenerated. Eyelids separate, eyelashes are formed, and this is the period 3rd trimester. The weight of baby increases double. Okay, so it is a rapid phase of growth. The growth occurs very fast. As we discussed this entire 9 months of pregnancy, they are divided into 3 trimesters. 1st trimester, 2nd trimester and 3rd trimester. Each trimester consists of 3 months. Fine. Means your 1st trimester it consists of 1st, 2nd and 3rd month. 2nd trimester has 4th, 5th and 6th month. And 7th, your 3rd trimester had 7th, 8th and 9th month. Fine. So entire gestation period it is divided into 3 trimesters. Fine. So this is known as gestation or pregnancy period. Okay. Now regularly a woman has to check the proper growth of baby. You might have heard about amniocentesis. That part we will study in the next lesson. Amniocentesis, it is a method, okay, or it is a technique we use to study any type of genetic abnormality in the growing fetus. In that technique, we are removing the amniotic fluid. Amniotic fluid is present surrounding to baby. So while moving, some cells of baby or some cells from the baby's body, they are also present in the amniotic fluid. So by injecting a syringe in the mother's womb, we remove the amniotic fluid. This amniotic fluid consists of some cells from baby's body. We prepare the chromosome pattern with the help of those cells, and we can study if there is any kind of abnormality. This technique, it is useful in the genetic counseling. Okay. Here usually what happens, if parents have any type of clinical background, any type of hereditary disorder, okay, so with the help of this technique, we can check or we can observe whether the baby also got received some type of chromosomal abnormality or not. Okay, so this is the clinical use of this technique. But nowadays this technique, it is misused to know the sex of fetus, because when we are preparing the chromosome pattern, we can find there whether the baby consists of XX chromosomes or XY chromosomes. Fine. So this technique, it is used as a female feticide. Okay. So the test which we use to know the sex of baby, it is the same technique. This is known as amniocentesis, but its purpose, it is different. It is used to study the chromosomal aberrations or chromosomal abnormalities. But when we prepare the chromosomal pattern, we can also see whether the baby has XX chromosomes or XY chromosome. Obviously, from that we will come to know whether the baby growing in the mother's womb, it is girl, okay, or boy. Fine. So in most of the cases, it is used as, previously it was used to know the sex of baby, and if it is a girl baby, then it is used to it was used to kill that baby. Fine. But now there is a statutory ban on these tests. There are some recognized hospital, recognized doctors. There only you can do these tests. Okay. So now this test is legal. Every doctor cannot perform this test. Only recognized hospitals, recognized practitioner doctors, they can only perform this test. Fine. Now this is known as gestation period. See, baby is growing day by day in the mother's womb. The woman or that mother is also feeling the growth of baby in her womb. Fine. Now by the end of third trimester, when baby it is fully developed, okay, that baby tries to come out of mother's womb. So that process, it is known as parturition. So by the end of 9 months, by the end of gestational period, when baby it is fully developed, now that baby has occupied almost all space from the womb. Now there is no space for further growth. Baby's all organs are well formed. Now baby tries to move in the mother's womb, and now it tries to come out of the womb in this wonderful world. Okay. So the process of delivery of baby or birth of baby, it is known as parturition. So the next point that we are going to study, that is parturition. Okay. Very interesting. We will see how parturition it is induced. Okay. So as we discussed, by the end of third trimester, baby starts moving in the mother's womb. The one reason is that now the baby it is fully developed. Okay. The second reason is also that the amniotic fluid, okay, the amniotic fluid which is present surrounding to the fetus, it also starts or now the small quantity it remains. Okay. So if the amniotic fluid or its level, if it start decreasing, then baby body will start drying. So the main reason now the baby it is fully grown, baby will try to come out of the uterus. So that process it is known as parturition. Okay. Now parturition, it is a process of expulsion of baby or birth of baby. It is a process. It is a process of expulsion of fetus from uterus of mother. Okay. In simple way, we can also call it as birth of baby. Okay. So the process of birth of baby or expulsion of fetus from mother's womb, that is known as parturition. Parturition, it is a very complex process, okay, and it is stimulated by neuroendocrine mechanism. Different hormones are involved in this process, so it is very complex process. Parturition is a complex process. It is a complex process initiated by neuroendocrine mechanism. Okay, this you have to remember. This process, it is initiated by neuroendocrine mechanism. Now let's see what is happening at the time of parturition. Now you just think that the baby, it is fully developed. Now the baby is trying to move inside the womb. Now at that time, or you can say before the birth, the baby's head, it is upward. Okay, but just before the birth or by the end of third trimester, baby just move along the axis and the head of baby, it comes near to the cervical region. Why? Because at the time of parturition, head should come out first. The circumference of head, it is much more higher than the shoulders, because when baby or the fetus, it is present in the womb, it is present in highly compacted form. So the shoulders, they are slightly inside. Okay, so head circumference, it is more than the shoulder. So head has to come first. If the baby takes birth in such a way that head it left behind, then it can result into complications. It may happen that the umbilical cord, it starts coiling around the neck. Fine. So it may suffocate the baby. So head has to come down. This is the normal position of baby for the normal vaginal birth. Fine. So by the end of third trimester, the baby just move along the axis, okay, and the head comes near to the cervical region. Now throughout the pregnancy, the cervical canal, it is blocked by means of a cervical plug that already we have seen. Now what is happening? The baby starts moving in the mother's womb. Okay. Now the first signal. Okay. Now how can that mother feel that now baby, or it is the time for the birth of baby? So a kind of reflex it is required. That reflex is known as fetal ejection reflex. Fetal ejection reflex, it is a reflex which is given by fully developed placenta as well as baby. Okay, so fully developed fetus and placenta, they initiates the fetal ejection reflex. As we discussed that this is a neuroendocrine mechanism. For secretion of hormone, a kind of stimulus is required. So that stimulus, it is known as fetal ejection reflex. Okay, so that stimulus is known as fetal ejection reflex. This fetal ejection reflex is given by fully developed fetus and placenta. Okay, this fully developed fetus and placenta, they start mild uterine contractions. Yeah. Throughout the pregnancy, uterus is not contracting. If it will contract, then what will happen? The developing fetus may get separated from the uterine lining. So by the end of pregnancy, now what is the situation in body? The baby has to come, placenta has to be removed. So for that sake, this uterus start contracting. So these mild uterine contractions, these are initiated by fully developed fetus and placenta. And these mild uterine contractions, it is known as fetal ejection reflex. Okay. Now once this mild uterine contraction starts, this gives signal to the endocrine gland and secretion of oxytocin takes place. So oxytocin, okay, it is known as birth hormone. Okay, this fetal ejection reflex stimulates the secretion of oxytocin from mother's pituitary, not from the fetal pituitary, from mother's pituitary. Now these oxytocin act on uterine wall myometrium and starts further stronger uterine contractions. Okay. Now these stronger uterine contractions are known as labor pains. Okay. Now oxytocin is released from pituitary. Oxytocin is released from pituitary gland. Act on uterine wall, okay, and causes stronger uterine contractions. Okay, these are nothing but labor pains. Okay, labor pains means what? These are the rhythmic or the frequent contractions of uterine wall. Okay, now these labor pains are also not continuous, means mother is not the uterus of mother, it is not contracting regular. There is a gap of 20 to 30 minutes, okay, between two contractions. So these you can say these labor pains are the periodic contractions of uterus. So labor pains, these are periodic contractions of uterus. Okay. Now these contraction of uterus also stimulate the pituitary gland to secrete more and more oxytocin. So this oxytocin is also known as birth hormone. Fine. Oxytocin is known as birth hormone. See now what is happening. Fetal ejection reflex has started. Okay. That fetal ejection reflex starts secretion of oxytocin, and this oxytocin causes stronger uterine contraction. These are known as labor pains. Okay. These labor pains, these are not regular. Okay. They can occur by interval of 20 to 30 minutes. Okay. So these are rhythmic periodic contraction of uterus. The uterus is trying to push the baby out of uterus. Okay. Or the wall of uterus is trying to remove the placenta. It tries to expel out the baby out of placenta. Now during this, one more hormone that is known as relaxin. Okay. The hormone relaxin is secreted by placenta. Relaxin is secreted by placenta. Okay. This relaxin hormone, it increases the flexibility of pubic symphysis, okay, or the region of pelvic girdle by dissolving the fibrous tissue present in the pubic symphysis. Now why? Because now cervical canal will open and the birth canal will develop so that baby can come out of the uterus. So the relaxin is secreted by placenta. It increases flexibility. It increases flexibility of pubic symphysis, and ligaments of pubic symphysis and ligaments of sacroiliac and sacrococcygeal, joints. It dilates uterine cervix. It dilates uterine cervix. Okay. During labor pains. Okay. So relaxin hormone plays very important role. Okay, it increases the flexibility of pubic symphysis. It dilates, okay, the uterine cervix which was plugged throughout the gestational period. Now here what is happening? The head of baby, it is continuously pushing, okay, or it is moving against the cervical cavity. So because of that pressure, now cervical cavity increases. It can increase up to about 10 centimeter, okay. And when cervix it is open along with vagina, it forms a passage, and now that is known as birth canal, okay. So head it is continuously pushing against the cervical wall. So whenever there are uterine contraction, at that time baby it is pushing itself, okay, against the uterine layer, okay. At that time, or when the diameter of cervix may increase up to 10 to 12 centimeters, and that time a birth canal it is formed. Birth canal it is formed by open or the widened cervix and the vaginal canal. It forms the birth canal, okay, and after that baby it is expelled. Now this whatever we have discussed, this is for the normal vaginal birth or for the normal vaginal delivery. In most of the cases, women don't feel labor pain, okay. In most of the cases, what happened, that mother, okay, she is not able to produce, or her body is not able to produce the labor pains, but baby it is fully grown. So at that time what doctors are doing, doctors are giving oxytocin externally, so that labor pains can be induced and that mother can offer the normal vaginal type of delivery. In some cases, due to some problem, a cesarean section it is also cut, a cesarean operation it is also done. One very interesting point I want to share is that the name cesarean it is given on the basis of scientists, okay, who discovered this first time. It is not on the basis of scissor, okay, or any type of instrument which we use for that. C-section or this cesarean, the name it is given from this scientist or a person who first discovered this technique, okay. So this is the process of parturition. The process of parturition we are going to study under 3 headings, okay. So after this we will see what are the stages in parturition. So first stage, that is of the relaxation. First, because of relaxing, the cavity of pelvic girdle increases, okay, pubic symphysis dilates. Then expulsion stage, where baby it is expelled, and after that for next 10 to 15 minutes all the remaining parts of placenta, umbilical cord, okay, they also come out of the uterus. So that stage it is known as after birth stage, okay. Now after this we will see these stages. Okay, so there are 3 steps in parturitions. 3 steps. We will just study these steps quickly. Parturition. The first stage, it is stage of dilation. Stage of dilation. Stage of dilation. Okay. Now stage of dilation, it is a duration from which labor pains have started. So from the onset of labor pain, okay, a stage from onset of labor pains till complete dilation of cervix. Till complete dilation of cervix. Okay. Now at this stage what is happening? Now see here, baby it is trying to move, it is moving, okay, continuously in the mother's womb. This movement causes rupturing of amnion layer. Now when amniotic is ruptured, then amniotic fluid is start oozing out of the cervical canal. So it is also a sign that when a watery fluid it oozes out, okay, of the uterus, it is a sign now the cervical cavity is starts widening, okay, and the process of parturition has started. So here amnion burst, fluid moves, the amniotic fluid moves out of uterus, amniotic fluid moves out of uterus into vagina, okay. And meanwhile oxytocin also started causing stronger uterine contractions. Oxytocin started stronger uterine contractions. Oxytocin started stronger uterine contraction. This stage it is known as stage of dilation. Now during this stage cervical cavity may increase up to 10 centimeters. Okay. Cervix is fully dilated. Cervix is fully dilated, okay, with a diameter of about 10 centimeter. Okay, and this phase may last for 6 to 12 hours, sometimes more than that. If oxytocin secretion it is in less quantity or it is irregular, this phase may last for many hours. Okay, it may last for 6 to 12 hours. Okay, again it depends upon the level of oxytocin as well as the physiological condition of mother. This is the first stage, stage of dilation. The second stage, stage of expulsion. Okay, the second stage, that is stage of expulsion. Okay, now it is the actual stage where baby it is pushed out of the uterus by stronger and stronger uterine contraction. So along with the umbilical cord, the baby comes out. As soon as baby's head comes out with umbilical cord, the umbilical cord it is clipped just few centimeters away from the baby's body and then it is cut. Okay, so that process it is known as stage of expulsion. As soon as baby comes out of the mother womb, that baby takes its first breath. These nostrils they are covered by a thin membrane, okay, throughout the embryonic stage or throughout the pregnancy period. As soon as it comes out, it starts its first breath. So stage of expulsion, baby is pushed out. Baby is pushed out of uterus. Baby is pushed out of uterus and drawn the vagina. Okay. Usually head comes first followed by the rest of the body. Usually head comes first followed by the rest of body parts, which is followed by the rest of the body. Now after this, what is that? Umbilical cord it is clipped. Umbilical cord is clipped. Once baby is breathing normally. Very important point. As you know that baby or the fetus in the womb, it is breathing, taking oxygen through umbilical cord. So unless and until baby is not breathing properly out of the body, okay, out of the womb, in this new world, in this new climate, okay, till umbilical cord it is kept, after that it is clipped. Once baby is breathing normally. Okay. Now this process also may last for few minutes to few hours. Okay. So it may last for few minutes to several hours. Few minutes to several hours. Okay. This is the second stage. And the third stage, it is known as afterbirth. So first stage, that is stage of dilation. The second stage, it is known as stage of expulsion. Now the baby has expelled out of uterus. And now the third stage, baby has taken the birth in this beautiful world. Okay. And the third stage, that is stage of afterbirth. Afterbirth. Now stage of afterbirth means what? After the birth of baby, for next 15 to 20 minutes, umbilical cord, placenta, it start oozing or it continues to ooze out of uterus. So the structures which comes out of uterus along with baby, they are known as afterbirth. Okay. So stage of afterbirth. After birth, placenta is fully expelled. Okay. Placenta, it is fully expelled out of womb without leaving any mark, any scar of its existence. It is completely exposed out of uterus. Okay. Umbilical cord is cut. Umbilical cord is cut near the baby. Okay. And this process may last for 15 to 20 minutes. May last for 15 to 20 minutes after birth. Fine. So after the expulsion of baby, placenta, it is fully expelled out of uterus. Once baby starts his normal breathing, then umbilical cord, it is clipped. So the remnants of umbilical cord along with placenta, some blood, fine. Now all these things, they are expelled, okay, after 15 to 20 minutes of birth. Okay. So in this way, process of parturition is completed. Now I will ask you one question. At this stage, what is the level of estrogen and progesterone in the body? Yes, this question I am giving you for homework. You will message me, okay, what will be the condition of estrogen and progesterone in the body at the time of parturition or after that, okay, and how these levels will be increased in body. Fine. So this is the process of parturition. In the next class, we will see the process of lactation, because as soon as baby takes a birth, it needs the nourishment. Now baby is not in the mother's womb. So as soon as baby takes the birth, the mammary glands which are developed throughout the gestation period, throughout the pregnancy period, they start secreting a milk. It is known as mother's milk. Okay. So in the next class, we will study what is lactation, what is the overall process of lactation. I hope you have understood all the things which we have learned today.